Hello, my name is Leroy Blevins. Welcome to Mysteries and Histories. In this episode here, what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit about the Orville Nix film. Now, I know when I present what I'm about to say, okay, I know I'm going to get a lot of backlash from it, and then hopefully I don't try to get sued, which I shouldn't get sued, because everything I'm going to present is actually on the net and all over the net and stuff like that. And I'm not showing none of the original frames or nothing else like that. Okay, but I want to show some information that a lot of people still overlooking when it comes to Orville Nix film. Now, they claim the government has the original film and that the copy that they got was tampered with and that the government still has the original film and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play an interview of Orville Nix. I'm going to show you some other evidence as well. I'm going to play an interview of Orville Nix when Mr. Lane did the interview and stuff, which you'll find out all over YouTube and everything else as well. But I got a recording of it, and I want to play it, and we're going to talk about that for a minute. So let's go ahead and play this, and then we're going to stop it and talk about it a little bit. So here we go.
Mr. Nix, where were you on November 22nd? 1963.
Standing on the corner of Maine and Houston.
And did you take any pictures of the presidential limousine as it went through Dealey Plaza?
Yes, I've taken pictures before and after, before the assassination and during the assassination.
And you know, of course, that your pictures were eventually used by the government to determine where the limousine was when some of the shots were fired.
Yes.
And did you deliver a copy of your film to the federal government?
Yes, I delivered a copy of my film to the federal government about December the 1st.
About a little over a week after.
Now, first, we're going to say this. He says, I delivered a copy of my film to the FBI. Not the original film, a copy of his film.
After the assassination?
Yes, my film got lost in the processing plant.
Now, we're going to go back a second, and we're going to hear him say that again, and we're going to say his film was lost during the processing plant. So basically, it wasn't the government, it was the people developing the film. Now listen.
The assassination?
Yes, my film got lost in the processing plant.
Where is the original film?
The original film belonged to United Press International.
See, now the original film belongs to United company that he was talking about, which he sold it to the sum of $500, which I'm going to show you evidence on that as well. So they have the original copy. Well, the original copy was lost during the process, and he turns over a copy of the film to the FBI and to the government. And now the original is with this company, United Company, which I'm going to point out up in a minute. But let's go ahead and continue.
The government has a duplicate copy.
Government has a duplicate copy.
In the archives.
And is that the duplicate copy which was used by the Warren Commission for the purpose of determining, along with other films, the Muchmore film and the Zapruder film, where the presidential limousine was when some of the shots were fired?
I would say so.
Well, you now...
Okay, we're going to stop it there. Now, as you heard, Mr. Nix himself said that the original was lost in process, but then the original went to that United company, which I'm going to pull up in a minute, and that the government received a copy. Not the original, a copy. Now here is what you'll find on Wikipedia, which I'll pull it up. Okay, United Press International, that's the one company he's talking about, purchased the copyrights for $5,000 and took possession of the original film from Nix on December 6th. Okay, so the government got a copy. Mr. Nix had the original. You see what I'm saying? And then they returned his original copy, I mean not the original copy, but his copy back to him in 3 days after he turned in. He turned in on the 1st, received it back on I say around roughly about the 4th, and then he turns around and sells it for $5,000 to United Press International, as you see right here, for the sum of $5,000. Okay, then the original was examined by the House Select Committee on the Assassination in 1978, when UPI returned the copyrights on all items, the copies, to the Nix film in 1992. So they gave the original film back that they had, gave it back to Orville Nix and them, and everything else to the family. The original film was missing in 2002. Now, in 2002, the film is missing. Okay? Now, we're getting the stories confused again. First, the original film was lost during the process. Okay? Then, the original film was turned over to United Press International, which United Press International gave, and Orville Nix only gave them a copy, gave the FBI a copy, and then United Press International gives the film back, the original film and all the copyrights to that film, back to the Nix family in 1992. Then the original film went missing in 2002. Excuse me. Now it says right here, in 2002, the Nix family assigned the copyright of the film to the Dallas County Historical Foundation, which is operating on the 6th floor Dealey Plaza Museum. You know, the museum they got there now. Alright, and then we had the interview of Mark Lane called Rush Judgment. The documentary was called Rush Judgment, where he interviewed Orville Nix in 1966. Then, as everybody knows, in 2015, Nix's granddaughter is suing the U.S. government for returning of the film. She also is seeking a $10 million compensation for it as well. Okay, this is all on Wikipedia. You can read this for yourself and stuff like that. It's all on the net. So I would just point out some facts here. That's all. Okay, so now, is the film original? Is the film, this is what we're going to look at. Well, I have a copy of it. I ordered a copy of it. I got a copy of it. Now, this is not the original. I'm showing you something. This is not the Nix film or nothing else. This is another type of film. Okay, and the reason why I'm going to pull this up, because I'm going to show you something. As you see right here, you see that strip right here where the sprocket holes is? They have numbers and codes and everything else like that on it. Even when we go to Zapruder film, see right here? I'll shrink this a little bit so you can see where my cursor is right here. You see this strip right here? Now watch, we're going to watch it. See how the strip is moving right here? It tells you the name of the film, what type of film it is, the date it was developed and everything else, and manufacturing company and everything else. Okay, they place codes in these bars. Now remember, this is a copy of the Nix film, a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy. Okay, because the original was turned back over to the Nix film, but then it ended up missing. Okay, and as I point out, first the original was missing during the process, and then it was turned over to United Press International, and then United Press International turned it back to the Nix film, and then all of a sudden it went disappearing. But I'm going to show you something. Here's the codes that we find on the Nix film. Okay, these are the codes. Okay, these tells you exactly the names and stuff like that. Like it's an Eastman reverse film. Okay, strip number is 36. The date on the film is 1963. It's a color safe film. Was made in Rochester. Okay, how do we find this information out? Okay, when you look up films, okay, and you take these codes as you see right here, and let me zoom in right here. We're going to take this code right here. This is going to give us a date. See this code here? Triangle, excuse me. See this right here? This is going to give us the date of the film. So we're going to go to the charts, and we're going to zoom in, and we're going to go to the charts, and as you see right here, circle, triangle, dates, and here's an Eastman Kodak, which is a Kodak film, okay, which the film is an indoor film, as it is. This film here is an indoor film, and it's made by Kodak, and these are the date codes and the charts. 1924, 1944, 1964. 1924 was black and white. 1944 was also a black and white film. But as we know, Orville Nix film has a colorized version of it. It's a colorized film, which was manufactured in 1963, because here it is. You see that circle and that triangle? Circle, triangle. This gives us the date on the film. 1963, because 1923, I was wrong on this part here, because I was looking down here, but actually it's up here. 1923 was black and white. 1943 was black and white. 1963 was the color version of this film. And as you see right here, this gives us that date. So we're going to look at this, and we're going to see it's 1963 gives us that date. Now, as you see here, where it says safety at, which, let me pull this up again. Okay, I'm going to zoom this back a little bit. You see where it says safety at right here, and you see that little dot right here? This is going to indicate and give us the location. As you see right here, if the dot's right here, it's in Canada. If the dot's right here, if the dot is right here, between the A and the F, it was made in Canada. If it's between the E and the T, it was made in France. If it was between the F and T, right here, it was in England. But as you see, S.A, S.A, which gives us an indication where the film was made, in Rochester. So you see, with these films and these images, these are the codes that's on the Nix film. We know the date, 1963, strip number 36, and it was made in Rochester. So you see, we got more information now. Now, like I said, this is going to get upset a lot of people, because to me, and in my investigation, that film that the Nix family has, to me, is the original film. Okay, but that's blown away their story. Okay, that's my opinion. Okay, that's my opinion. Now, like I said, I'll probably have to take this video down, because I'll probably get a lot of heat from it. But as I point out and I showed you, the voice recording, okay, of Orville Nix, where he specified that the original was lost during manufacturing. Then he only gave the FBI a copy, not the original, a copy. Then he turned around and sold the original to United Press International, which they received the copy, the original film, right along with the rights to the film. Then in 1990s, they turned it back over to the Nix family, and it went missing, okay, after that. Okay, then 2002, the rights and the film stuff was turned over to the museum. And as you see right here, as you heard him say that, and then I point out the facts right here about the information you're going to find in Wikipedia on the internet. Tells you it's a Keystone Auto Zoom Model K 818 8mm movie camera, the type of camera he was using. Okay, it specifies that. And there's a lot of things, just like the FBI. Okay, the Nix film was obtained as a result of a notice that the FBI gave to the film processing plant in Dallas area, that the FBI would be interested in obtaining or knowing about any films they process related to the assassination. When Nix heard this, about this form, his processor, he delivered the film to the FBI office in Dallas on December 1st, 1963. It was returned to him, and 3 days later. But remember, he said he gave them a copy, not the original, a copy. The original, he turned over and sold it on December 6th. He sold it to United Press International. Okay, and he gave them possession, which took the possession, as you see here. United Press International purchased copyrights for $5,000 and took possession of the original film from Nix on December 6, 1963. So he had to have, Orville Nix had to have the original film. to turn it over to them, because it says they received the original film from Mr. Nix, right here, as you see right here. Then when UPI returned the copyrights and all its copies, not only the original but all its copies as well, to the Nix family in 1992. The original film was missing. So who took the original film? Had it been United Press International, not the Secret Service, not the FBI, not the government. It was United Press International. They had it. They're the ones that turned it over to the Nix family. So if you're looking for the original Nix film, okay, then you have to go after United Press International, because they had possession of the original film, as y'all point out here. So I wanted to give this information out here. The government does not have the original Nix film, as I point out. The original Nix film went to United Press International. They had the original film, and in there it stated that they gave the original film and the other films, the copies of it, back to the Nix family, but the Nix family says that the original film was not returned to them. Okay, but why is the government involved now? That's one thing I never did understand. But I wanted to show this information and, give some people insight on it as well. Okay, because as a researcher, you have to look at all these facts to find out whose hand these films was in possession with, what did they do, or whatever. Just like if you want to see the complete Orville Nix film, type in the complete Orville Nix film on YouTube here, and you're going to see where it's got showing of the complete film, complete film of Orville Nix. You will see the filming before, during, and after. Even at the very end of the film, I think it shows a football game on there as well. Yes, it shows a football game on there that he also filmed on that film as well. You will see all that complete film right here on YouTube as well. Okay, so I just want to give this information out. Okay, everything that I have in this video here, I point out this already on the net, has been on the net for years, which is basically more or less now in public domain, since it's been posted on the net for all these years. And I'm not showing no original copies of the Orville Nix film whatsoever. Okay, I show a copy of a copy of a copy right here, as you see. But this is what researchers use as well, and that's why in my research I only show copies of copies of copies. But the original one was turned over not to the FBI. They was sent a copy. They was turned over. They received a copy of the film, which everybody that took images that day and stuff, like Mr. Zapruder, he turned a copy of the film over. He kept the original with him. He turned the film over to the FBI because the FBI only took copies. Just like Mormon's photo. They took her picture, made a scanned copy, and gave her back her original. Okay, everybody kept the original films in their possession. The only things that the government took from them were copies from the films and images that was taken that day. That was all turned in, because they'll sit there and say, well, when you process this film, make a copy for us, a copy for them, and give Mr. Orville or Mr. Zapruder or whoever his film was, give them back the original. So Mr. Zapruder had the original with him. That's why he could sell the same. That's why he could sell the original same day, because he still had that original on him. Only thing he gave them was a copy. Same thing as you heard Orville Nix. Orville Nix gave the FBI a copy. Did not give an original. He gave them a copy of it. So everybody was turning over their films and stuff, but they was just turning over copies. They wasn't turning over the original films. They was just turning over copies. Whoever they sell these to, that's who got the originals. Like Mr. Zapruder, Time magazine bought his film from him. They got the original copy. Turn around, they give it back to the Zapruder family. Zapruder family sold it to the government for $16 million. The Nix film, they received the copy, but Orville Nix kept the original with him. He sold the original to United Press. Okay, so between that transaction between United Press and the Nix family, it got lost in between there, not with the government. I just want to give this information out to let people know a little bit more information about the Orville Nix film and stuff like that. I know it pisses people off. I shouldn't say it that way, but it does piss people off, because what I do is I'm seeking the truth, because this is a murder case. It's not about money. It's not about fame. It's not about glory. It's about presenting the truth. So when the truth is out there, the facts can be seen through them, and the evidence can be presented, and then people will know the truth, what really took place that day. But with all the false claims and all the false accusations that's going on out there, as you see in a lot of my videos where I point this stuff out, I'm the only researcher that's going to come out and tell you the exact truth. I'm the only researcher that's either, if it's backed by something or if it's not backed by something, I'm going to present the evidence because it has to be seen no matter which way you look at it. Like I said, everything I've shown here is all over the net. You can find this information all over the net. But as I point out, people need to know information. People need to know the truth. So why not present that truth? Why hide it? Don't forget that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to tell your friends about us. Share this information with other people so they may know this information. Share my other videos as well. Always in the description down below, you're going to find my book, Evidence of Conspiracy, the only book you ever need in JFK assassination. You can get it on paperback or Kindle. Thank you, and you have a pleasant day.